Hello and welcome to the Mentor Principal Candidate Training. We want to thank you in advance for the time that you will spend with your mentee this year, helping him or her to learn the role of an administrator and to grow as a leader. My name is Cynthia McFarland and I serve as the Principal Preparation Program Specialist for Region 11, and I will also be the field supervisor for the candidate. During this short video, I will give you information about the Principal Preparation Program. I will clarify your role as the mentor, and we will begin a dialogue for the mentoring relationship. I will also talk to you about planning for the practicum experience. After this slide, please press pause so that you can discuss the information on the slide. As a way to begin your mentor-mentee relationship, please spend some time discussing these topics. If you have not already discussed your background information with the candidate, talk about what made you decide to enter the teaching profession and what made you decide to become a principal, and then talk about your strongest leadership qualities. Here at Region 11, we offer 3 different pathways to principal certification. We have the Alliance for Educational Leadership, which is designed for participants who have already earned a master's degree and are currently seeking their principal certification. This is the program that your mentee is currently participating in. We also have 2 other pathways to certification. The Instructional Leadership Collaborative is in conjunction with Tarleton State University and provides a master's degree for those who are seeking the Master's in the Curriculum and Instruction. It is a 2-year program. And then finally, we have the PPPP, which is in conjunction with Midwestern State University, and it offers a Master's in Educational Leadership and is a 2-year program. We are an SBEC approved provider, and we offer training aligned with the principal standards based on best practices and research. At this time, you might want to ask your mentee to provide a little bit of information about the trainings that they attended this summer. The principal candidate will have a wealth of support throughout the practicum. Of course, we are here to provide any support needed to the candidate and to you as the mentor. Each candidate has been assigned a field supervisor, which I will serve as for the candidate, and you will meet me during your first visit. Finally, the candidates also have each other. They've spent quite a bit of time together during the summer, and they have a great network with each other. Our goal is for all of us to work together and to give the candidate the greatest chance at being a successful administrator. We spent some time during the summer talking to the candidates about their responsibilities as an administrator intern. We expect that during the year they will be observing and working with you, their mentor principal. We want them to bring a commitment to learning and functioning as an effective leader. We hope that they will have an opportunity to really engage in the administrative role as an intern. We would like for you to meet at least once weekly. The more conversations you have together, the more rich the practicum experience will be for the candidate. We have high expectations for the work they do, and we expect that the work they complete will be of quality and that it will be completed on time, and we expect the same of their practicum activities. They are required to attend all training sessions. As a principal candidate, they should serve as a role model for other teachers, students, and even administrators on the campus. Of course, they should maintain academic integrity. Overall, we want to produce the highest quality administrator possible. We also have high expectations for the ESC Region 11 staff. The certification department is here to support the candidate by monitoring their progress and ensuring that they are staying on track, both on practicum hours and on the monthly assignments. We ask that you keep in touch with us if your mentee struggles in any area, so we can recommend modifications or suggestions to the candidate. We're also grading assignments, which are for the most part based on their practicum experiences. As we maintain the candidate's file, they'll be ready for certification when the year is complete. And finally, your responsibilities in regard to being a mentor during this practicum is to, first of all, complete this mentor training. Thank you for doing that. And once you've done so, you will sign a verification page stating that you've completed. You'll also be working with the candidate to identify 3 projects that will have an impact on instructional practices and student outcomes. You'll need to communicate with them at least weekly, as we've talked about previously. Communication is also important with the field supervisor during visits and anytime you feel like we need to be involved in issues regarding the candidate, please let us know. In the end, we will be asking you for a recommendation regarding their performance for their standard principal certificate. Please let us know if you have any questions throughout the school year. Please prepare to pause the video and refer to the document entitled Principal Standards. The Texas Principal Standards include school culture, which is also known as school community leadership, leading learning or instructional leadership, which involves teaching and learning, human capital management, executive leadership, strategic operations, and ethics, equity, and diversity. Please pause the video and you can refer to the document for more detailed information about the principal standards. Our candidates also have their AEL certification as well as their T-Test certification as a result of 6 days of training this summer, 3 for AEL and 3 for T-Tests. I have included the training calendar in the Canvas course as a handout if you'd like to see what topics your mentee received training on this summer and what they will receive training on during the school year. We've met multiple times in the summer and we will be meeting many times throughout the year on Saturday. So the candidates are well trained by the time they receive their principal certificate. This is the first year for the new principal exam, and it is entitled Principal as Instructional Leader. The content is geared heavily towards instructional leadership. The candidates are very familiar with the domains and competencies that are required to be successful as an administrator and on the Texas 268 exam. The practicum is a critical part of the certification program at ESC 11. The practicum provides the candidates with the opportunity to experience day-to-day activities at the school and district levels. It also provides the candidate with an opportunity to self-assess his or her leadership ability and to identify his or her own strengths and limitations. And perhaps the most important part of the practicum is the fact that they have the opportunity to work with an experienced leader, which of course is you, to learn how to be an effective administrator. We have several goals for the practicum. The first is to enable the principal candidate to develop administrative competence through a wide range of practical administrative experience. Next, the practicum allows the candidates to apply the knowledge and skills they've gained from the trainings they've attended throughout the program. Another goal of the practicum is that it enables the candidate to test their personal commitment to a career in administration. It gives them the opportunity to see if being an administrator is really what they want to do in the future and if they're ready to be committed to the job of an administrator. It gives the candidate the chance to gain insights into the preparation of a school and its goals and how these goals may be achieved. It also allows the candidate to progress toward his or her own personal and professional goals. The practicum certainly gives the principal candidate the opportunity to showcase his or her talents as a future school leader. Let's take a look at the requirements of the practicum. The first requirement is that the candidate must complete a minimum of 160 hours of activities which are based on the standards and competencies required for Texas Principal Certification. The candidates will be required to log the hours. There are required hours to log, but there is also leeway for you and the candidate to decide on the others. Think about the things we do as administrators that would be beneficial for an intern to have completed before stepping into that administrator role. In case you run into difficulty coming up with ideas, we've included many suggestions for activities in the log. These activities are not required, but they're merely suggestions or ideas for springboarding into something that might be more beneficial for your campus. We hope that by the end of the year, the candidate has had the opportunity to experience a wide variety of administrative duties. Take some time to look through the log with your mentee, noting activities that they could be working on now. There are limits for the amount of time that can be spent on some activities. Of course, they are not limited to the amount of time they spend doing an administrative duty. They're simply limited to the amount of time for each activity that they may log. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. During the school year, the principal candidate will be completing 3 projects, which will be completed under your direction. Think about topics that deal with teaching, learning, and student outcomes that you'd like studied. We hope that you will work together with your mentee to identify projects that will benefit your campus. The first project must connect to the campus improvement plan. It must address a tapered data concern, and it must improve instructional practice and student outcomes. With your guidance, it must be completed within the school year. The second project must identify needed professional development, connect to the campus improvement plan, and it must address a tapered data concern. It must improve instructional practice and student outcomes. Again, with your guidance, it should be completed within the school year. The third project must include the candidate and at least 3 teachers who will work together to identify and improve an area of instructional practice. The project should connect to the campus improvement plan and address a tapered data concern. It should also improve student outcomes. Under your guidance, it must be completed within the school year. I do want to speak a little bit about the guidance for the projects. Your candidate will be coming to trainings each month on Saturday, and they will receive additional information. So it is, as a result, at the end, it is totally up to the candidate as to whether or not the project is completed within the guidelines required of the program. As you can see here, the project timelines are outlined on this slide. September, November, February, March are key dates for the candidate. During field supervisor site visits, the candidate's progress with each project will be reviewed. All 3 projects are due in March, and the candidates will present their project results and their suggestions for moving forward to the cohort group in May. As mentioned previously, the candidates will be completing a practicum log. This is essentially the documentation of their field experiences, and there is a link to the principal standards and competencies. The candidates should keep this log up to date by recording each activity they complete. You will be signing off on the activities. If you will use your actual signature for at least one of the activities, you're more than welcome to initial the rest, as they will be completing many activities throughout the year. The log will be submitted at the completion of the practicum. We do suggest that the candidate complete well over the required 160 hours, just in case some of their activities cannot be counted. We do require that a communication log be kept by the principal candidate. This log is used to document the communication between the 2 of you regarding the candidate's practicum activities. All communication can be logged, but we do require that communication be logged at minimum weekly. This too will be submitted at the end of the practicum. As mentioned earlier, there will be field supervisor visits, and I will serve as a field supervisor for the principal candidate. I will visit the campus 3 times throughout the school year, and I will observe the candidate performing an administrative duty. The first visit will take place within the first third of the practicum, and it is the responsibility of the candidate to make sure that these visits are scheduled with the field supervisor, and they can let you know when they will take place. For the first visit only, I've asked that the candidate set up a brief meeting between the three of us just to make sure that everyone understands their role and to answer any questions that you may have before we get too far into the practicum. After the first visit, I will have the opportunity to touch base with you if you are available and present on campus. If not, I will make sure that I notify you via email of how the observation went. Each visit will last about 45 minutes with a brief conference with the candidate afterwards. During the conference, I will make sure that the candidate is progressing toward completion of the practicum, and I will check with you if you are available. If you're unavailable, I will make certain that I email you. I want to make sure that the candidate is communicating with you on a weekly basis, and then we will talk about the progress of the 3 projects, and we can discuss other concerns with the candidate as needed. As you begin the mentor-mentee relationship, please remember the factors necessary for a successful relationship. Respect is earned and given and cannot be mandated. Each party should have respect for the knowledge, skills, ability, and the values of the other. Trust is defined as firm reliance on the integrity, ability, or character of a person. The trust will grow as confidence increases. Good relationships must be built. Self-esteem is an expression of self-concept and is important in developing confidence. Finally, as the mentor, we ask that you make time to interact with the candidate in order for them to have the most valuable practicum experience. To avoid these potential obstacles, remember to 1. Make a sincere effort to protect the time that you will spend together. 2. Be fully committed to ensure an opportunity for growth. 3. Set clear expectations. Have an open and honest dialogue to discuss what your expectations are. 4. Maintain confidentiality. 5. Maintain a healthy sense of dependence on each other. 6. Seek first to understand differences in personalities and work styles. And then finally, doing so will decrease the chances that these obstacles will occur. Seeking to understand these differences. At this time, please pause the video and take some time to discuss your expectations of each other in regard to the practicum. As previously noted, you as the mentor will be asked to complete a recommendation form for the candidate's standard principal certification toward the end of the practicum. We do encourage you to contact us if there is a problem or concern. We certainly would not like to get to the end of the practicum and receive a no recommendation without knowing there was a problem and without being given the opportunity to address the issue. At this time, please pause the video and discuss this quote by Pete Hall with your mentee. Discuss the one thing that you wish someone had told you as you began your journey into this role of an administrator. Thank you for completing this video, and again, thank you for agreeing to serve as a mentor for our principal candidate. We do hope that you have a wonderful and productive school year, and please do not hesitate to contact us if you have additional questions or need clarification.